Operation Safe Haven meets with peace stakeholders, calls for concerted efforts to end insecurity. Plateau government takes steps to eradicate malaria. We're glad you could join us on Panorama today in Jos. I'm Mary Replong Domtur. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our YouTube channel, NTA News Online, and other social media platforms showing on your screen. President Bola Tinubu is once more assuring the international community that Nigeria is well positioned to power the clean energy future of Europe and the world with the high-grade lithium deposits in Nigeria. President Tinubu made the commitment in his bilateral conversation with Prime Minister Mark Rutte on his state visit to the Netherlands. State House correspondent Musbah Wahab reports. Musbah Wahab.
President Bola Tinubu's earlier visit to the G20 summit in India in September last year is still yielding results. Destiny perhaps brought the Nigerian leader together with Prime Minister Mark Rutte of the Netherlands. The short tete-a-tete has led to a bigger diplomatic opportunities for the two leaders. And then, the Chief Marketing Officer of Nigeria is cashing in on this invitation to take the bilateral and trade relations with one of his country's largest business partners even higher. The president, as narrated by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, proudly presented the immense opportunities Nigeria offers across a pool of sectors and that his administration is deepening reforms to enhance the investment climate. He said Nigeria seeks robust, balanced, and mutually beneficial partnerships that will bring about value addition in areas like solid minerals. President Tinubu also asserted that Nigerians have tremendous confidence in themselves and that his confidence in the Nigerian people gave him the courage to take difficult decisions on their behalf, given his full awareness of the need to give Nigerians the long-term tools they need to succeed. President Tinubu expressed determination to continually take difficult decisions that will benefit his people, as he assured that Nigerians will be adequately rewarded in due course. His host noted that President Tinubu's economic reforms have engendered greater confidence in the Nigerian economy by international investors and that Dutch investors have activated another set of $250 million worth of new investments over the next few months, including a $100 million investment in a waste-to-wealth industrial facility in Lagos State. The Prime Minister lauded President Tinubu's national and regional efforts as he promotes democratic governance and the solution it can bring in dealing with problems of development. And then, the Nigeria-Dutch Business Forum would streamline the new areas of collaboration. Here, President Tinubu further expressed his firm commitment to develop the partnership between the European Union, EU, and Nigeria, noting that symbiotic economic ties remain the best long-term path to sustainable and mutual prosperity rather than one-sided relationships in which bilateral trade is skewed too much in one direction. Some of his ministers speak on areas of collaboration, including agriculture.
We in Nigeria will have the available land, but our most problem is that the land is shrinking because we have a huge bulging population. There's habitation encroaching on farmlands. So what we need is increasing yield per space. So increasing yield, and that's technology. Good seeds, good fertilization, good cultivation, and good harvest. And that is, I think, where we can now derive the knowledge and transfer knowledge from Netherlands to the Nigerian space.
So one of the two things that we've identified in our earlier meetings this morning is actually partnership around talent, right, where the Netherlands has a program that is focused on providing scholarship opportunities for young people in specific sectors, especially in the technological space. So we're looking to work together in that space.
He has been giving lots of encouragement to foreign investors into the country, and it's really yielding a positive result because so many of them are well determined, and those that are already in the country like KLM and the rest have assured the president of their commitments.
From The Hague, Musbao, then Wahab, NTA News.
And here in Nigeria, as part of measures to tackle poverty and insecurity, the federal government is engaging stakeholders to unveil a roadmap for integrating unbanked Nigerian population into the formal financial system. The two-day workshop declared open by Vice President Kashim Shettima aims at sensitizing stakeholders and chart a course for accelerating financial inclusion efforts. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
In recognition of this imperative, I am proud to announce that part of our agenda today involves the signing of the ASO Accord for Economic and Financial Inclusion.
This is the signing of the agreement termed ASO Accord for Economic and Financial Inclusion with state governments and other key stakeholders in the private sector as part of efforts to actualize a delivery of financial services at affordable cost to all Nigerians.
The testament to our determination to dismantle these intergenerational obstacles lies in the reality that a significant segment of our populace lacks access to a diverse array of affordable financial services. We are also aware that a fundamental driver of this disparity is the pervasive issue of low income. This poses a threat to the security and stability of the nation.
For us to be able to go very far in getting majority of our people to be captured, the technological environment has to be further strengthened.
One of the things that we commit ourselves to in order that we can alleviate the pains of adjustments, the pains of reform immediately, is that we commit to making sure we have 100% financial inclusion as far as payments are concerned.
The concept is to integrate equality and accessibility of financial services, charging stakeholders to ensure that no one should be left behind by adopting new strategies and models of meeting the set targets.
At the time we started, we set certain targets for 2020, which clearly have not yet been achieved. And I hope that when we listen to the central bank, we'll see where we are and how long it will take us to get to those targets.
One of the expected takeaways from this event is therefore to go behind the growth numbers and interrogate the rise of the gender gap from 8 to 9%.
Financial inclusion stands as a cornerstone of socio-economic development, advancing access to finance to every Nigerian.
26% of Nigerians, they are financially excluded, as well as 36% are equally unbanked at the moment. And please recall that we had a target of achieving 95% by the year 2024. Here we are in 2024, but at the same time we still have a little gap.
The workshop is set to unveil a comprehensive roadmap towards the shared goal of financial inclusion, a critical pillar of the Tinubu administration's economic agenda. From the State House, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
The need for policy review and effective partnership in the broadcast industry has been stressed. This formed part of discussions at a one-day engagement meeting organized by the National Broadcasting Commission held in Abuja. Francis Udoju has the details.
The gathering, which had chief executive officers of broadcasting stations from across boards, is to provide an avenue for stakeholders to brainstorm and interact with the NBC on how best the various stations can work effectively. The current economic challenges, participants say, have impeded their efficiency in meeting NBC requirements, especially on license fee, restrictions on areas of coverage.
Regulation is not a money-making business. It is a law enforcement business. And because of that, it is important for the federal government to fund the commission properly.
This, they say, will require a review for effective collaboration.
The 300% power hike has affected us. So many stations are shutting down. I think this is an issue which the DG must present before the federal government.
It's a rewarding meeting. It's quite engaging. Many broadcasters will also be able to think of how they could diversify their operations.
The media, who happens to be the means of communication between the people and the led, needs to constantly have this sort of dialogue.
These are trying times for everyone, where they have expressed concerns about how the running costs for their operations, the challenges they face. We're going to look into all that issues.
NBC DG added that a level playing ground will be provided for broadcast stations in Nigeria for effective collaboration. In Abuja, Francis Sudojo, NTA News.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang has underscored the importance of strengthening the strategic alliance between the United States and Nigeria to tackle the current security challenges in the country. A statement signed by the Director of Press and Public Affairs to the Governor, Gangbere, says the governor was among a delegation of Nigerian governors who spoke at a dialogue on peace and security in Nigeria hosted at the United States Institute of Peace. It says the governor appreciates the pragmatic leadership style of President Tinubu for exhibiting political will in addressing security challenges and appeal to citizens and the security agencies to redouble their efforts in discharging their constitutional responsibilities. The statement commended the United States government and the Institute of Peace for its stabilization support through various interventions, especially those focused on strengthening the capacity of peace actors through the Nigerian network of facilitators. It expressed optimism that the lessons learned will contribute to addressing decades of security challenges in Nigeria and Plateau State in particular. The dialogue with the team, Drivers of Insecurity and Opportunities for Stabilization, aims at deepening understanding of the security context, including its socio-economic dimensions, and identifying near-term opportunities for addressing instability. Major stakeholders in the peace process in Plateau State have called for a halt to the incessant attacks and killings in communities in the state. This was during a meeting convened by the General Officer Commanding 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Abdul Salam Abubakar, at the Maxwell Kobe Cantonment, Rukuba. Caleb Goching was there.
The meeting is for stakeholders from Bokos and Mangu local government areas where some communities came under attack with lives and property lost. Leaders of the communities decried the unfortunate happenings and called on everyone to have a rethink and work towards the restoration of peace in the areas.
I'm happy that the youth from both sides, the Flyers, the youth from Mangu and the local government, believe there's something wrong, and there's need for them to sit down and dialogue.
We are the problem. We can only be the solution.
The GOC 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven frowned at the continuous defiance to peace and especially attacks on security personnel by women and youth, warning that such will no longer be tolerated.
Going forward, we must avoid rumor-mongering and peddling of fake news if we must succeed and have peace restored to our communities. Please note that the spreading of some of these fake videos and fake news generate more tension and incite people into further acts of lawlessness.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang, represented by Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs Ephraim Usman, says the government is doing everything possible to address the situation. He appealed to the GOC to reconsider his stance on withdrawal of personnel from Bokos, as that will further expose the people, especially students, at the State University located in the area to more danger.
It's our responsibility to build trust and confidence in each other. That was why when we came on board as a government, we have reimbursed Operation Rainbow, and by the grace of God, very soon Operation Rainbow and peace-building agencies will engage community leaders so that we can have peace.
The speakers commend the GOC for his proactive measures and pray for a quick resolution of the violent conflict in Jos, Indenyan, and the Abuja. NTA News.
And that report was by Indenyan and the Abuja. Panorama will continue after the break. To health, more than 2 million households in Plateau State have received insecticide-treated mosquito nets. This is a major step taken by the state government in partnership with stakeholders to eliminate malaria on the plateau. Ijama Ozemena has more.
Every 5 years, Plateau State government, in collaboration with partners, review malaria prevalence and distribute insecticide-treated mosquito nets to households as a major step to eliminate the disease. This time around, it took the stakeholders 9 days to distribute the nets in the 17 local government areas of the state to the beneficiaries.
The ranking for the state is within 17% compared with other states. So I think on that, we are still working on bringing the burden of malaria there are so many activities that are going on right now to reduce the burden of malaria. Thanks to the support we are getting from the partners. So even before the ITN distribution, the ITN campaign, we have a lot of activities with global health supply chain, with the breakthrough action, ongoing with the PMI for state, that is the US President Malaria Initiative. We have a lot of activities ongoing, all aiming at reducing the burden of malaria.
The exercise recorded success following adequate sensitization and mobilization of residents.
We're able to reach about 1,062,456 households were reached, and the total number of nets that were distributed amounted to 2,794,000 nets given. So we encourage all the citizens of the state, those that have benefited, those that have the nets, to use them.
The state government urged the people not to toy with their health, as health is wealth. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Thank you, Ijoma. We have in the studio Ndak Kizito Zungunam, the Program Manager, Plateau State Malaria Elimination Program, to shed more light. We're glad to have you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Okay, what informed the distribution of insecticide-treated mosquito nets by the Malaria Elimination Program?
Yes, mosquito-treated net was distributed across the state in 9 days, as reported earlier. What informed this particular decision is we want to reduce the burden of malaria in Plateau State to the BRS minimum. As such, using insecticide-treated net is one of the critical point and critical agenda of the government to ensure that, if possible, every citizen of the state sleep inside insecticide-treated net, which will prevent them from coming down with malaria, because malaria is the #1 killer disease, especially in developing country like Nigeria and Plateau State as a whole.
Okay, you're doing this in collaboration with some partners. Can you tell us the role of the partners in achieving malaria eradication in Plateau State?
Yes, the government, through His Excellency Barrister Manasseh Caleb Mutfwang, received a donation of over 2.9 million nets from US President Malaria Initiative from the United States and Against Malaria Foundation from the UK, United Kingdom. And since we received these particular nets warehoused at the GIB store at All Airport Junction, We've been following series of activities since the 25th of February with partners that are providing technical support for us, which are Global Health Supply Chain, Procurement, Supply Management, and Breakthrough Action Nigeria, providing sensitization and health education on how to use the nets properly. So these partners, come together, helping the State Malaria Elimination Program to ensure that we have a timeline followed by recruiting personnel, training them on how to distribute these nets across the 1,080 distribution points that we have across the state.
Okay, sir, do you think that this ongoing efforts is enough to eradicate malaria?
Yes, it is one of the major way of eradicating malaria, but of course, it is not the only means of eradicating malaria. Like by May this year, we will commence the seasonal malaria chemo prevention that is being implemented by Malaria Consortium in the state. And this is when you see people, ad hoc staff, going house to house, church to church, school to school, administering malaria medications to children under 5 years. And we do that in Plateau State like 5 cycles from May to December, and when you administer these medications on the children, it prevents them from coming down with the malaria. So that is one key agenda to stop child mortality rate in the state. Then to complement it, we're sharing these particular nets, which we encourage that people sleeps inside it all nights, all year round. And if you do that, definitely you will not come down with malaria.
Okay, so what's your message to the public on their health in just few seconds?
In few seconds, my message to the public is that take your health seriously. Malaria is the #1 killer disease, especially in Nigeria and in Plateau State. Make sure you get hold of your insecticide-treated net and sleep inside it all year round, all night.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us on the program, Mr. Ndak.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, and then moving on, up next is Sports Update with Olumide Oguntola as guide.
Flamingos head coach Bankole Olowokire has unveiled 25 players list comprising 4 goalkeepers, 7 defenders, 7 midfielders, and 7 forwards to prepare a formidable team ahead of FIFA Under-17 World Cup qualifier against Burkina Faso. The first leg third-round fixture is scheduled for 12th May in Ouagadougou, while the return leg is slated for Abuja on the 18th of May. In grassroots football development, comedians and media personalities in Nigeria clashed at the Campus Memorial Stadium in Lagos Island in a match meant to wage war against malaria while growing the game at the grassroots. Team media personalities won the encounter 2-0 to lift the trophy.
Since 2013, we have tested over 1 million people. So, I mean, we use the Novelty Match Initiative and we do our monthly outreach programs in rural areas, schools, markets, and everything. So we're not just only doing the football match.
It's very necessary for us to kick malaria out, and we're here to, sensitize the public in terms of how to prevent people from having malaria.
In another development, the Director General, National Institute for Sport, NIS, Professor Olawale Moronkola, has cautioned all sports stakeholders not to fall victim of a parallel citadel of knowledge, as NIS remains the only institution established, recognized, and backed up by Nigerian law.
We have nothing to do. They are faceless people, and I would just want to say that the Nigerian sport-loving community should dissociate themselves from that move.
He also explained to journalists that the NIS is experiencing the dawn of a new era in all ramifications with the upgrade of facilities at the institute. With Sports Update, Olumide Oguntola, NTA News.
That has been Panorama today. Good afternoon.